Dear students, today we are going to discuss about computational thinking. What is computational thinking? It is thinking in terms of solving a problem in a manner that can be programmed on a computer. So why that's special? Let us take an example to find largest of three numbers. So given three numbers A, B and C, we want to find the largest. So how can we solve this? So we will first of all start and we'll input our numbers A, B and C. Now we'll first check if A is greater than B, and if that's true, we'll also check if A is greater than C. Now if this is also true, then which is greater? Yes. So our answer is A is greater, because A is both greater than B and C. But suppose this was false or this was false, then we will check if B is greater than C, and if that is true, we will also check if B was also greater than A, and if that was true, if B was greater than both A and C, then which is greater? B is greater. And now we have checked if this was false and if this was also false, then neither A is greater nor B is greater, so our answer is then C is greater. And then we will finally stop. So we can easily write a program to represent this kind of logic. So we'll input A, B and C. So we can write A is equal to input. So we are taking three inputs here. And this is Python code, so input gets in string and then we are converting that string to an integer. So now we can write if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, then we print A, else if B was greater than C and B was greater than A, then we print B, else we print C. So this is our Python code to solve this problem. Now that we have solved this, let us ask a question. Is this the optimal way to solve this problem? So let us now look at this condition. A is greater than B. Now if this was false, what does this imply? Now this implies that if A is not greater than B, then B must be greater than A. Now we are assuming that A, B and C are all assumed they are different. Okay. So if A is greater than B was false, then B must be greater than A. So now when we are here, that means we already know that B was greater than A. So that means this condition now becomes redundant. We are checking a condition that need not be checked because we already know it's true. So rather than checking this condition from here, we can go directly and print B. So we have removed one condition. So that means we do not need to write this here. Okay. So now can we further think of improving this? So let us now take this condition. A greater than C. Now if this false, that means C was greater than A, right? So we already know that A was greater than B and C is now greater than A. So that means C is both greater than A and B. So C must be greatest. So rather than coming here and checking, we can directly go from here to C. So therefore we can come up with a better flow chart for this problem. We input A, B and C. Now we check if A was greater than B. So if this was false, or this was true, so if A is greater than B, we'll check if A was greater than C. Otherwise, if B was greater than A, we'll check that B was greater than C, right? So if A was greater than B and A was greater than C, then answer is A. If A was greater than B was false, that means B was greater than A. And B is also greater than C, so that means our answer is now B, right? If this was false, that means C was greater than A, and here A was greater than B, and similarly here it means C was greater than B, so that means in either of these cases, our answer here is C. So we can very easily write a modified program. So if A was greater than B, then we check if A was greater than C, print A, else print C. Else, if B was greater than C, then we print B, else we print C. So this is our optimal solution. Now just to compare, suppose the answer was C. So that means, let us say A greater than B was true and A greater than C was false, right? And then it will come here, B greater than C will be false, and then it will come here. So how many conditions checked? 1 condition, 2 condition and 3 condition. This need not be checked because B is greater than C is false. Therefore, there is no point of checking B greater than A. So let us assume that our Python interpreter or any programming compiler is smart enough. So here 3 conditions are checked. Let us say C was maximum here. So then A greater than B was, say, true. Then A greater than C will be false, and we directly print. So here only 1 and 2. So we have saved 1 condition at least. So this is the optimal solution. So what is our lesson? So computational thinking demands careful analysis of the solution in order to minimize the number of steps required to solve the problem. So now that you have understood this, can you modify the above algorithm to find the middle number, that is second largest of 3 numbers? So if A is equal to 5, B is equal to 7 and C is equal to 6, so the answer is C. Okay. So thank you very much. We'll meet in next class.